worked in a radio factory.
What did you really do during the war?
Benedict Cumberbatch in The Imitation Game, a film that portrays the life of Alan Turing.
Mr. Turing, do you know how many have died because of Enigma?
He was a mathematical genius. He led the effort to decipher messages encrypted by the famous German Enigma machine. It was a success that helped bring an end to the Second World War 2 years early. But instead of being hailed a hero, the post-war years saw him convicted of gross indecency because of his relationship with a man. Thousands suffered the same fate. 2 years ago, Turing was granted a royal pardon. Now in an open letter, Cumberbatch, along with other high-profile signatories like Stephen Fry, are asking the government to pardon all men prosecuted for being gay. Turing was chemically castrated and eventually committed suicide. His family believe a pardon for everyone is what he would have wanted.
Alan's response he would be the first person to give his name to this petition. He would think that it has been totally unjust, and he would want everybody else to be pardoned as well, of course.
In 1885, gross indecency was made a crime, meaning homosexual acts, even in private, were illegal. It was in 1952 that Alan Turing was convicted under this law, and 2 years later took his own life. By 1967, homosexuality was eventually legalized, at least in part, in England, but 49,000 men were still left with a criminal conviction. Around 15,000 of those are thought to still be alive. And while Turing was given a royal pardon in 2013, today's letter calls for that to be extended to all those convicted. George Montague is 91 years old and was found guilty of gross indecency in the 1950s. Now in a civil partnership in Thailand, he says the gay community deserves even more than a pardon.
Not only a pardon for those who are convicted, but I would lay an apology to the whole of the gay community of those times, so many, many years ago, who went through such an aberration and it was such a disgrace. You were the worst type of criminal if you were homosexual.
But others believe it's impossible to overturn all decisions made in the past.
We must be very careful not to confuse this with revisiting laws of the past and imposing our values on those, in which case we could decide that we wanted to revisit witchcraft or suffragettes or anything else where now our values are very different.
45,000 people have now signed an online petition backing the campaign, another step in a quest for justice for those thousands persecuted by the laws of their country. Gamal Van Bellet, Sky News.
Good. Very good. That's excellent. At last, it's going to happen. Thank you.